Oh, hey, how are you? Just playing a guitar that I built this summer, so I relicked it out. And I know a lot of you are into music, but it actually plays pretty well. I'm surprised. Anyway, enough about me. I just got done reviewing the first set of papers, and honestly, take the feedback that I gave you with a little bit of a grain of salt. I don't know that the page length and the assignment was honestly the best vehicle for this. These topics were very broad, and I think a lot of you were trying to keep down to 1 or 2 or 3 pages, and I don't know that that was fair. So take the feedback that I gave you with a little bit of a grain of salt. Don't beat yourself up. We got plenty more opportunities for writing in the course and plenty more opportunities to build from here. There are some couple themes that I want to talk about though. And honestly, they're concerning. I teach, probably 50 students a class, probably 250 classes in seat every fall, another 250 in the spring, plus dozens and dozens online. So, I mean, 600 to 700 students a year. So I see some trends, but you all have departed from kind of what I've seen in the past, and I just want to challenge you with that. A lot of you mentioned the government. The government's going to do this. The government's going to do that. This is a Christian college. This is a conservative college, and I'm older than you are. So I want to impart some wisdom and make sure you get what I think is going to be the philosophy of the staff at CCU and some of the older, more wiser generation. So be careful when you talk about the government's going to buy this or do that. Where does the government get their funding from? What are the second cause? What's the tertiary cause? If the government does A, what's going to happen to B, C, and D? So let me give you some examples. Let's take a look at student loans. When I went to college, I didn't take out any loans. It was $600 a semester. So I worked, paid off my stuff. My parents helped me out a little bit. I graduated without any student loan debt. The student loan program has taken off, okay? Now, most students are graduating with 6 figures. A lot of these colleges and universities, to remain viable, are having to compete for those dollars. So on your in-seat classes, your in-seat college or dormitories, your traditional colleges, you're seeing climbing walls and jogging tracks and BMX parks and theaters and fine dining options and all this stuff. And students are using the student loans to do that. Well, that's an unintended consequence of government. Government has provided this easy money, and now people are leaving in bondage for 15, 20 more years because of something that looks good on the surface. I saw almost every one of you, without exception, talk about the government do this, the government do that, we need more government. Be careful with that. Think about the loss of community that we have now because we've taxed everybody to death, and the churches don't do the bread lines. The churches aren't doing the homeless shelters. They used to have that function, and people would get together, and you had this great sense of community. But because people perceived an inequity here or there from the 30s and 40s to today, and wanted to even this out, now they've taken that function over and they've kind of gutted the heart of our communities. Just like Walmart coming in and taking away the local grocery store, the local shoe store, everything else. Now you have this big entity that comes in and it really guts these communities. So be careful with that. Socialism, and I'm going to put a link here, is something that it has not worked. And I get it, it's attractive on paper. It really is. Let's be fair, let's be equitable, let's end racism, let's stop global warming, let's do this, let's do that. I'm a social scientist, but I'm not a weather scientist, but be careful. And in some of your papers, I gave you a lot of feedback. I was told that the rapture was going to happen in 1984. I was told that fire ants were going to kill me. I was told that killer bees were going to kill me. I was told the ozone layer was going to kill me. There's a hole in the ozone, that I was going to die. I was also told that the seas were going to be in by 1998 and take California and New York off the maps. and dozens and dozens and dozens of these other themes that created fear, that created buy-in for government entities, organizations, NGOs, non-government organizations. Be careful with that stuff. Think for yourself. So I'm going to also put some critical thinking links in there, and I want you to start taking a step back. Am I asking you to agree with me? No, not at all. The last thing I need is an echo chamber. The last thing this world needs is an echo chamber. But just be sure that if you're going to say an argument, and we've got to combat this, that you're not buying into a narrative, that you unpack this, that you say, hey, here's the global warming, here's the statistics, this is the counter argument. These are the people that say global warming is not an issue. This is where I fall down. This is what I think we can do. I mean, how are we going to regulate billions of people in China? How are we going to regulate millions, if not billions, of people in Africa that are below the poverty line? So just because you've got a Prius, or just because, and let's look at the Prius, look at all the carbon that has to go into building one of those in the batteries. So again, back up, make those arguments, address the vehicle thing, address the landfill. What are we going to do with all these batteries? What's going to happen to all this stuff? You know, solar, let's go solar. It's awesome, but what are we going to do with all these solar panels when they're done? Are we going to bury these in landfills and pollute our water supply more? Okay. So again, don't agree with me. In fact, you do not have to agree with me. I would rather you, probably one of the best papers that I've seen from a student in the last year was a great argument on why we should tear down all the Civil War statues. I don't agree with that, but you know what? She made a great argument, a wonderful argument. She had a powerful thesis and she supported it. So, you know, she got her solid grade. So don't ever agree with the status quo. Don't ever feel pressured to do that. But at the same time, you know, make up your own mind. Think for yourself. Think critically. Thinking critically doesn't mean to criticize. It means to analyze. Why do I feel this way? Okay. And I just said the evilest word you can say right there. What do I feel? Feelings have no business in academia. It has to be fact. It has to be driven by data. Okay? That's a huge lesson. So whenever you hear anybody say, well, I feel this or I feel that, and my kids do it all the time. Well, I feel this and I feel that. I'm like, well, okay, you feel that way. It's not rooted in any fact. It's just a feeling. So avoid the feelings, and that we're an emotional creature. That's the way God made us. But look at that data. That's the path that you've chosen. You're in academia now. So look at the raw data, look at the statistics. Try not to have any biases like confirmation biases, any prejudice. Try to look at the data as objectively as you can, and you're going to do great, okay? This was a big eye-opener for me because I did not see this from the last class, and you all kind of surprised me. So again, I'm not telling you to comply. I'm not telling you to change your worldview. I'm telling you, make sure you can defend your worldview. All right, so take a look at the videos. I know some of you are going to see this before the 4th. Happy 4th. Some of you are checking out for the week. So when you come back around the end of the first week of July, welcome back. Get back to work, and I'll see you on the forums if not through text and a phone call. Take care and God bless.